he was the height of morality. He was the most important person who I didn't know, if that makes sense. He was everything. To go through what he went through and come out not hateful, and looking for forgiveness and unity and preaching unity, it was amazing. Yeah. That he was a hero, that he was a man to be respected and listened to. One of the first books my mum she never pressured me to read, but the first book she pressured me to read was his book, A Long Walk to Freedom, and yeah, I thank her for that. That was incredible.
But my mother has always been a very liberal person. My mum and my dad were both members of the ANC from a very early time, and we were under the understanding that he was a freedom fighter in prison and needed to be released, and that the external pressure from outside was really helping and needed to be more.
There have been so many scares the last few months that you almost dismiss it, there's like another scare, and then my sister phoned me and said he had passed, and it hit me way harder than I thought it would. I had to sit down, and I was kind of holding it together, and then I met an African couple, came in, lost composure completely, and I was kind of surprised. Like you said, you think you're preparing for it for a few months, but it's not even someone you actually know personally, but you feel like you do.
It does feel very surreal because he feels like he's ours, and we feel like we have a claim to him. And there's so much diversity in South Africa that I can't speak for everyone, but everyone I know really does feel that, and feel like he is their father figure, and it feels very personal for a South African, because it wasn't that although he had many great people around him, he truly was the person responsible for those changes. He really drove and led, and even when it felt dire. So it's that his character is not just symbolic. It really was him that people admired and loved, and I think as a South African that's very hard to ever forget. Jono and I personally, our lives would be entirely different had we not grown up in a South Africa that had experienced democracy.
27 years in prison, and he still made it to 95. You think he's going to be there forever. I remember a few years ago when he turned 93, and he was frail, but he didn't look. It's tough. Yeah. So I think the world will remember him as a great statesman, as a hero of the struggle. In South Africa, we call him Tata, which means father, and that's closer to how we remember him. He was kind of everyone's, like, a distant family member. It's more like we've lost a family member.